thought I'd take a minute on my little quick walk to share this video about an experience I had where, just a moment, someone's driving past. Okay. Where I'm working through healthy acceptance of grief, loss, and primarily with my mom. It was maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I had a thought about her, and it was like overwhelming emotions and pain that came up, and it was like tight in my chest, and I hurry up and cut the thought off. And I remember, y'all, cars is gonna be passing by, so I apologize if it gets a little too loud because I just took a break on this street that I was walking on in my neighborhood. But anyway, I'm gonna try to make it quick. I did write about it on my Medium, and I'll also probably write about it on Substack as well. So I'll link it in the video here. But I cut the feeling off, right? Because it was just like overwhelming, and I could feel myself like going into a breakdown cry, and I stopped the emotion. And then it dawned on me, like, do you do this, when something is really painful? Do you cut yourself off from like feeling it? And I had to sit with that for a little bit. I sat with that thought, and I really pondered like my response. I wanted to understand what was that about me that cut it off. And even the feeling, it was so heavy. And I know that grief is a part of you, but I believe in life, in everything there's healthy and unhealthy. And I've been working with every facet of my life to make sure that I'm living and operating in the healthy parts of me, even when it's messy, even when it's not clear, but I just want to be healthy. And so as I was thinking about that, I was talking to the Lord and kind of, still sitting with it. And it dawned on me that grief will always be with me. Losing my mom, it's been almost 4 years, three and a half years. And so the loss of my mother, which I've lost grandparents, I lost my dad, my stepdad, I've lost people. So I've lived with grief for many years, but I don't know if I've ever really processed it this way. And then it's my mama, and so that's a little bit different. And what came to me was, I will always remember her, and I will remember those times, because it was about what was happening, or what I was remembering in that moment was about her, a part of her sickness that was really hard. And I remember feeling fear and anxiety and like panic, about the condition, because everything happened like at the same time. It was no time in between from her sickness to death. It was 6 months total. And so I just remember that panic and anxiety and that fear that was there for me as I was dealing with everything. And so that was the feeling that I pulled back from. And what came to me was, I don't have to relive those moments. It's like memories and thoughts, they're in our control if we, choose to exercise that control. They don't have to just run. They don't have to just have free reign in us. Like, we can take control and possession of our thoughts and our memories and our feelings and decide how to approach them. And what came to me was that I didn't have to relive those moments, the painful moments, but I could relive the moments that I cherish, the moments, the good times, the laughter, the fun, and even, the hard times. I could remember those moments because they were learning lessons. I could remember my mother, but I don't have to relive. And what came to me with that revelation, really, to relive it, is to bring that back into my presence, to bring that level of anxiety, that level of pain, that level of, whatever I was feeling in that moment, right into the present moment as if it was happening. And I don't have to. And so it wasn't so much as me cutting off the feeling, that can be unhealthy. What's unhealthy is suppressing my feelings and repressing them and acting as if I don't have it. But it's healthy to redirect the memory, to redirect the thoughts, and I choose to focus on what's healthy about it. Yes, I will always have glimpses and thoughts of what we went through during her transition. Yes, I will absolutely have thoughts of that, but I don't have to relive what that moment was. I don't have to bring that pain into my today. What I can bring into my today is the memory of my mother, how amazing she was, her spirit and her heart. I could remember the relationships that she had with her family, with friends. I can remember all of these things about her, and I can keep that present, and it's like that decision. What do you want present? Do you want the sorrow and the pain and the inability to change what is, or do you want the truth and the reality that you had this time and this experience with your mother, and these things were true and they were good, and they were, from even her teaching me how to dance, and it just shifted something about me, and I realized this is healthy acceptance of grief. This is what I title good grief, because it's, can grief ever really be good? No, that means you've lost something that you've loved, someone that you've loved. But the goodness of it and the good parts of what I'm referring to is to take that collective experience and then source out what can bring life, source out what can bring joy and what can make your heart smile. And yes, my heart will always have a longing for my mother, for her presence. I will always miss her physical presence, but her spirit is present with me. I could feel her at times. I could sense her counsel. I can sense something that she would say or recommend, or a behavior that she would do. And then sometimes I look in the mirror and I could see her, because I see so many traces of her in my face. And so in this good grief, I've come to have a healthy acceptance of it. And that moment this past week was key for me. And so I just thought I'd share that for anyone who may be able to use some of, the information. Maybe it doesn't apply to you, and that's okay. But if it does, it's a journey, and it's one that we're all a part of who's experienced that type of loss. So until then, this is Kanisha, and this is one of my love culture chats that I do from time to time. It's been a minute, but I'm back on. Talk to you soon.